sharp teeth of icy winds, the cruel echoes of snowflakes. You are here, at the farthest point of the world, somewhere between the lifeline under the ground and the frozen ground on deck, between the determination of man to survive and the natural warmth of bears. They live in a land beyond the internet, where electricity poles and modern appliances cannot reach. They say, like bears, because in winter, when they are struggling with the deadly claws of the Arctic cold, the fur coats, hooded overalls, and thick gloves they wear resemble the warm shell of a gigantic brown bear. Here, the days when the temperature climbs to 50 degrees, 60 degrees, or even 70 degrees are ordinary. In this cold, your breath turns into ice crystals on your face, your eyelids freeze in seconds. Touching metal objects with bare hands instantly burns the skin. Breathing while lying on the stomach in ice invites hypothermia within minutes. Forget about the thickest blanket in your house. Central heating, January, if it's electric, the stove. Because the most reliable source of heat in this world is the heat created by the movement of the fur and palms that your body wraps around it. Children define growing up differently here. They take their first steps in the spacious courtyard, insulated with mud and moss, rather than inside the tent, through which poor air passes. What do you think they have on when they leave the embrace of their parents? This is not fabric, trousers, or light overalls. These are the little bear coats designed for them. Overalls covered from head to toe with thick fur, large hoodies with visors, going down to the ankles with extra insulation on the inside. A second layer of fur passed over the gloves that protect the hands is wide and sheltered, just like bear paws. The boots that children wear on their feet are much more than snow boots. They are special pieces of leather molded almost in the form of a bear paw, cushioned with moss and dry grass inside. This clothing not only provides them with physical protection against the cold, but also gives them a spiritual commitment. It makes them feel strong and brave, as if they are part of the bear's soul. To warm up, you turn your back on technology. An electric generator, a radiator, even the simplest battery-powered anti-radio is considered a luxury. Instead, there is a stove at the door of each house, which is lit from discarded dried tree branches, reindeer antler shells, and pieces of wood mixed with moss. The wood that embers in the stove gradually warms the mud brick walls, while the smoke gently filters down the chimney. Every hour of the day, it is necessary to add wood. The stove can never go out. The sound of the breaking of each dry branch forms the rhythm of life here. Children fall asleep at night with fairy tales they tell by the stove. Fairy tales tell about ice giant bears, snow spirits, and the hidden secrets of ice crystals with the morning sun. It is like a complex web woven by nutrition, hunting, fishing, and community solidarity. There is no agriculture in this region. The seed does not fall into the soil. It does not germinate again. That's where hunting decrees the fine line between life and death. Reindeer is the lifeblood of this geography. Every part of it is used, from its meat to its skin, from its milk to its blood. Hunters remain motionless for hours while watching herds, especially during the most difficult days of winter. The bow and arrow in their hands is the noiseless weapon of silence. A special mixture of fish oil and herbs applied to the arrowheads reduces the duration of action, reduces the prey in one shot. The first blood of the hunt is considered a sacred liquid. A sip of fresh reindeer blood provides both iron and raises your internal body temperature. On the other hand, fishing is also one of the main sources of livelihood. Holes are drilled. In frozen lakes, nets and fishing rods extended into the waters below are patiently kept waiting. When they collect their nets, the fish they get, especially salmon and pearl mullet, are buried in the abdomen for several days and stored in the natural refrigerator. Then the meat is laid out on drying boards. It takes the form of fish cookies that are cooked over low heat. These dried products have both basic food and commercial value. Daily communication is established only with hand signals, body language, and facial expressions. In this world where the internet, phone, and radio do not attract, the most valuable connection is the verbal bond established with neighbors and relatives. News is shared around the stove during feverish conversations. In the tent, where they sit together on duty, one transmits the reports of the depressing cold weather outside, while the other plots the next hunting plan. Each discussion becomes an invaluable piece of information that is added to the community's survival strategy. transportation is provided by walking on snow and slippery ice, snow sleds, or reindeer herds. A road of several kilometers is crossed, with snow sandals, the crunch of snow sliding under your feet, and the high-pitched sound of sleigh wheels on ice. Snowflakes falling on sleigh baskets ring in your ears like the notes of a prehistoric melody. The snow feathers on the reindeer's mane float like silent beacons of happiness as they carry the load. Rituals and beliefs sanctify the cold. The fire, dance ceremony, held in the middle of winter, is led by community leaders and shamans. Circles are drawn on the floor with the ashes of the stove. Prayers are said to greet the sacred fire. The sacred ceremony is performed at night, under the silvery glow of moonlight. The shaman's drum is played with a deep vibration on the frozen ground, and people get up to a foot dance on the snow with the rhythm of the drum. This dance calms the spirit of the cold, gives society the strength to endure. Education and child rearing is an unorthodox school. The classroom is the area around the stove inside the tent. The school hour, which starts earlier in the day, passes with children learning about snow and ice, learning to milk reindeer, interpreting animal tracks. In the evenings, the elders tell legends. They talk about the ice snake, the heavenly bear, and the heavenly hearth. These fairy tales transmit the teachings of life in harmony with nature, from generation to generation. At the change of each season, the guardian spirits are honored. When the ice starts to thaw in spring, the return to the place of the soul ceremony is held. Participants carve sculptures from ice blocks and offer gratitude to the ice spirits with a water ceremony. With the arrival of summer, healing teas are prepared using dried herbs and fruits. To offer gratitude for the abundance of autumn, the lichen festival is held. Community members exchange lichens and mosses they have collected with each other. The people of these lands choose a way of life to be deprived of modern luxuries. Dressing up as a bear reminds us that beyond beating the cold, we are a part of nature. Here, every breath, every step, every layer of fur that is worn is the answer to the most basic question mark of life. How long can a person withstand the cold? After all, these people living in the deadly Arctic cold do not rely on technology, but on people, togetherness, and the ancient wisdom of nature. For them, cold is not an enemy. It is a teacher, a partner, and life itself. This realm is the purest form of life, the endurance of the human spirit, and the perfect balance of harmony with nature.
Дед, как вкусно. Посмотри, слушай. С давних пор у чукчей есть закон. Те, у которых много оленей, устраивают людям маленький праздник. Так что ешьте, хорошо наедайтесь. Кушать надо.